What the fuck am I doing? Okay, so, I was supposed to make a Diplomaarbeit, right? Like my last final big bang artwork that's gonna have me mentioned in papers and winning awards and you know, all that good shit. So about 4 months ago, I'm just gonna get into the story, right? Like, let's not even pretend that this isn't happening. About 4 months ago, I was like, oh shit, I should maybe think about what I'm gonna do, right? Like, how most people would. And then I like started thinking. I didn't blink. Editing me here, I couldn't resist. I didn't blink. I thunk. Okay, bye. And then I like started thinking, and my brain froze. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but I kind of like, I don't know, my brain just did that, so I guess it is. Who else would know but my brain, right? I'm already sticking to the leather couch. This was such a bad idea. She's moist. Yeah, so I was thinking and I was wondering what I could do, and then I didn't know what I could do because figuring shit out is really fucking hard, right? Especially if there's some pressure behind it, and also art, like, maybe that's a me problem, and it probably is, but maybe also not. I don't know if you can relate, like, tell me, I guess, or don't, because I also don't like when strangers come up to me. Yeah, so where was I? This is actually exactly what I meant. Yeah, I was thinking and I was trying to figure out what I could do, which is really hard. There's pressure, and then also it's art, right? Like, a lot of people would argue that you can't just do art and it's gonna be art. Other people can do that, which, I mean, and good for you, I guess. I'm not that kind of person. I do shit because I have ADHD and I'm addicted to social media and have to be on my phone or at least my laptop all day, and then stuff just happens, right? Like, I maybe write something or screenshot something funny or make a collage or something, and then I, about a few months later, can pretend it's art and totally on purpose. So I was hoping that would happen too this time because, it's kind of important for it to happen right now, and before that it was never really a thought, like an active thought. But like most things, when you think about them and you hope for them to happen, they usually don't, because I don't know, God, destiny, self-sabotage, mental illness. I'm just laughing by myself in my room. It's fine, it's normal.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
So yeah, and now it's embarrassingly close to the opening show, and I still have nothing. Well, not even nothing. Like, I could technically pick whatever I have, like whatever shit I have on my laptop or my phone right now, and I could, like, try to make something out of it, or I don't know, start painting, I guess, or like, that's the beautiful thing about art, right? Like, you could do stuff, you can do art, and nobody gets to tell you that it's not art, technically. Like, who are you to tell me? Except the jury that's gonna give me a grade. But, like, generally, right? And I never really thought about it that in a way. Like, whatever I showed at school was never like, oh, I really hope the critics are gonna like it, because as long as I like it, it's fair game, I think. Like, as long as you can explain it in a way, or as long as you can talk about it in a way, it's fair game. Which, although it's beautiful, it's also really fucking terrifying. I'm sorry for the F word. It's gonna happen a few more times if you're not comfortable with that. I'm also not comfortable. I completely lost my thought, or my train of thought. And apparently also my ability to speak, so that's cool. I just realized I forgot my beer. I'll be right back, Reno, I guess. I hope I'm recording. I have no idea what I already said. I think I did like a little bit of an intro, but I probably didn't. But that's like the whole point, right? That's why why you're seeing this instead of a comprehensive video work or a painting or a fucking installation with many different compartments like all my peers did. And I mean, good for them, but that could never be me. And not even in like a, I'm not like other girls type of deal, but more in like a, how do you do it? Like, seriously, how? I think I've been staring into the viewfinder the entire time, I just realized, which is unfortunate. But will I restart the recording just to get more confused? So, what I was gonna say, let's dissect the situation. I'm sitting here, very last minute, again, way too embarrassing to say how far away the exhibition is, so I will not do that. I'm sitting here because I couldn't figure out what kind of art I could do. My dog brought another toy. And I don't, like, I can't even tell you if it's just me being incredibly depressed, if it's me not being able to move in the heat, or if it's just me being lazy, or if it's me having like an art blockade. You know how like writers, I don't know how you say it in English, but you know how when writers like just can't write? And maybe it's that. I do believe that that's giving me too much credit though, so I will not say that instead. Instead, I think it's just me not knowing how to deal with life at the moment, and that's translating into my art, which technically is art. It's okay. Come here. Which technically is art, right? Because a lot of artists do art to express themselves and like talk about, well, not really talk about, but like, how do you say it when you like have a subject and you don't talk about it? Well, yeah. So artists do that a lot, right? Where they like have a topic that moves them in a way, or something they want to talk about, or that they want to like show to the world in a way, usually like emotional. I would guess. I think, like, especially nowadays, it's not really about like depicting things anymore as much, or even if it is, it's not like, it's not realistic, right? It's not, most people nowadays, I would think, but then again, I also have no fucking clue what's happening in the art world. Like, most people don't just like paint bananas because they want to show how well they can paint bananas, right? Instead, they like do something with a banana that symbolizes something else, or it's just aesthetically pleasing and also kind of has a meaning, and all of that is art, right? Even just depicting a banana can be art. I mean, fucking slapping a banana to a wall can be art, apparently. Some might argue. Maybe my type of art is being painfully honest on the internet, right? I don't know if you would say that Trisha Paytas is an artist, nor would I ever dare to compare myself to her, because I can only learn from her all the worst things. But maybe it's art, right? Kinda? The way you express yourself? Also, if this, like, ends up being really incoherent and uncomprehensive, I guess is the word, I'm sorry, I'm trying. I will probably edit the shit out of this to, like, make it something. If not comprehensive, at least maybe a vibe, whatever that means. But that's art, right? Yeah, I think I recorded like 10 minutes at this point, and I'm already sweating and panicking. Yeah, so I was like thinking what I could do. I talked to the school staff that's supposed to help us with art. Well, me saying supposed to sounded shady. I did not mean that shady. I just meant like that's what they're here for at the moment. And all they could tell me was that I should just try to do whatever, and you know, it'll be fine, which is very lovely. And thank you for not telling me that I need to do something real and good, but instead like leaving it open like that. But it kind of made me question, right? Because if I just like, technically, I could have just sat down the day of the exhibition, took a microphone in my hand, basically what I'm doing right now, and just talk. I could have just been like, this is my performance. I'm just gonna talk really fast and really like neurotically, I guess, for an hour straight. And that could have been a performance, technically. I mean, not even just technically, like it could, I could stop using the word technically. But I didn't want to do that because I have social anxiety and I don't want to sit there for an hour. But instead I'm doing it in the comfort of my own home with beers and cigarettes, because that feels more comfortable to me, which you could say that that's kind of losing the point, because you want to see what I mean? The reason, one of the biggest reasons that I realized after doing a lot of thinking, because I guess that's labor too, in a way. I realized I could like sit down and think of a concept and like do art in a way where, I don't know, it's aesthetically pleasing and it kind of makes sense. Or I could also just sit there with my thoughts, because there are about 14 different pathways that open up whenever I have a thought, which is nothing special, I get that. But I don't think it helps that it's about art, right? Like, if the like I did training as a nurse before I started studying art, right? I was working in a psychiatric clinic. You do learn a lot about like emotions and how to behave towards people, how to talk to people, how to like read body language and the tone in their voice. I don't know where I'm going. Fuck. Okay, yeah. So my options were to try and do something artsy that's gonna be good, or do what I can at the moment, which is this. And even this, as stupid as it sounds, is incredibly hard, because I keep losing my thoughts and I'm sweating profusely and I'm thinking about like 14 different things that I should be doing, but that doesn't like... Listen, instead of explaining a lot of shit, and I think I'm gonna have to explain what I mean by that, let's just settle on the fact that whatever the fuck is happening around me, my brain just decides to not produce serotonin and it's really not helping. Let's talk about the fact that my brain is running in circles. So, I decided that I would just sit down and talk. I did think about writing a script, but then I didn't know what to write the script about, so that doesn't work. Please don't bark. Please don't bark, keys. No barkies. God damn it. I decided to just sit down without a script, without a clear plan, actually. I did think about many different things again. I may not be doing a lot, but I'm thinking. It's not much, but it's honest work. And I thought, I kind of have to make sure that it doesn't like go down the route where I just, after an hour or two, just have a full-blown mental breakdown in front of the camera that gets like really sad and sloppy, because then if I have to explain what I did, it's really easy to like fall down into a route of like, oh, okay, the subject of the artwork is mental illness. As if that isn't scary enough, you then also have to decide if it's going down the route of, oh, it's romanticizing mental illness, which I do not want to do, or, oh, it's supposed to show how mental illness manifests in people, which I'm nobody to tell you what depression looks like. Like, I barely know what I look like. I can't, like, that's not my place, really. Or you could be like, oh, it's very overdramatic and, like, very kitsch, and, oh, sloppy, sad little girl. Why would she dare to pretend like she has problems when there are so many worse things happening in the world? Which is, like, just a little note, that's true. There are many worse things happening than like what's happening in my brain, but it's 2022. Let's stop pretending like people can't be sad for different reasons, like just in general. Yeah, so that was just the mental health route that I could have gone down, and maybe I am, who knows? I don't know where I'm rolling down right now. And that's already like so many things that you have to consider. And yeah, a lot of it is probably going to depend on how I talk about it. Part of it is going to depend on how I edit it. I mean, I could just make a super cut of me not staring into the camera and realizing it, but that's not really mental health. That's actually, again, I'm jumping to a different topic. If I didn't go down the mental health route, I could be like, let's just pretend to be a stand-up person for 2 hours straight and see what happens, but that's doesn't just sound cringy, that also is cringe. And that's not what I want to do, because I don't, like, I guess you could say comedy is art, but I'm not a comedian. I'm coping. And also, again, because the things that I'm talking about are probably either, like, kind of sad or kind of dark. So me being like, oh, it's, you know, I just got a notification from BeReal. But my legs are also so fucking sweaty that my entire ass is wet. Maybe I should have written a script, because now I don't know what I did talk about and what I didn't. Again, kind of circling back to the whole, like, you can technically do whatever and call it art, but you just kind of have to be able to stand behind it and, like, explain it in a way where it at least makes sense to you. Like, nobody's gonna like whatever you do. There are probably gonna be people who are gonna think that you're really funny or really cool or really fucking cringy and annoying, and both is fine. I think what it comes down to at the end is part of art is its meaning, not just, you know, the aesthetics of it or the craftsmanship, nowadays anyways. And then second of all, like, as long as there's still criteria by which you can critique art in a objective way, where it's like, okay, is it, like, really fucking offensive? And I think you can, like, of course there are still gonna be people who have different opinions on it, but, you know, if like 90% of people say it's offensive, it's probably offensive. I guess you could say it's bad art. This is a good example of bad art. Or like people who do performances, right? Like, some people have like these elaborate, huge productions, basically, where there are like 50 people involved and there's a choreography and everybody's doing like really masterful movements and you can tell they have skill. And then other people just piss on somebody else's face. And both can be art, probably for very different people, but both is valid, right? So I think the problem for me in that whole thing, while it is beautiful that it's very free, is that too much choice gives me anxiety. When I have too much choice, I get really fucking anxious because there's more room to fail, right? Like, give me something. What's the point of art? I'm serious. What's the point? Truly, honestly, after 3 years of studying art, I still don't know what art is or how I feel about it. First of all, who gave me the right for me to exhibit? Who cares? Realistically, nobody. I need another cigarette and maybe a quick break. The current sound file that is going has been going for 40 minutes. I did record the intro, like, separately, I think for like 10 minutes before that. I'm just rambling at this point. Is this art? Probably not. Maybe, in a way. I think I will be able to talk more about what I did here and why I did it and how it felt doing it and editing it and, like, putting it out there, than I would be able to, like, talk about this painting, for example, right? So for me, that was the only option. There was nothing else that I thought I could talk about except the things that are mattering to me right now. And what matters to me right now is that life is really fucking scary and school is stressing me out and I have like 40 different things that I should be on top of and doing instead right now, but I'm not doing them. And it's not because I can't, like, physically. I could do a lot of the shit that I'm supposed to do, but I can't for some reason. Like, no matter how much I know that I should and how easily accessible it would be for me to do it, and I still can't. Can't. Maybe I'm making it easy for myself, right? Like, that's an argument that you will hear a lot and that you might be thinking right now, and that's fair enough. Maybe I'm just making it easy on myself. Maybe I'm narcissistic. I mean, I probably am. That you kind of have to be a little narcissistic to pursue art, to think that whatever you produce is important enough to show to the world, right? You have to have a certain level of narcissism, at least in a way. But I'm so sweaty. We're officially at the point where my words are not just blurting out anymore. But instead, my head is starting to hurt. I'm getting a little sad. I don't know, like, why. So my face is getting itchy. I really hope I was recording for the last hour. Let me check. Yeah, I think that was it. I recorded for about an hour. Maybe it's just gonna be 10 minutes of footage. Maybe it's gonna be 40 minutes of footage. Who knows? Yeah, thank you for listening if you did. Oh, little cameo. Oh, hi. It's storming right now, which is why he's looking for love from me. This is my dog. He's very cute. He's my son. I'm his birth mother. Yeah. Bye. This wasn't awkward and stressful at all. Bye.